an iterator, right? Iterator, you understand iterate. If you run a for loop, right, you will get iterations. If for loop executes 5 times, you will have 5 iterations, right? Similarly, there is a new concept in Python which is different from other language, which is known as iterators. These are generally objects. It means you have to create the class for iterator, right? You can't create object without iterator. So iterator are objects that can be used to iterate all the items. Just like you have list, tuple, if you do for loop of any item, right, any list, okay, then you will iterate this, right? So list, tuple, dictionary, sets, all are iterator type. All are type of iterator. Why? You are iterating them. Okay. Now if they are iterators, then why we differently need this? Okay, I will explain you, don't worry. So the main objective of iterator is to traverse the item. Traversing we also do in list. Then again question rise. We can do list, tuple, dictionary. Then why we need iterators? Right? I will explain you, don't worry. So few other example you can see, like enumerate. We have seen enumerate, map, filter, all are doing iterations. Zip we have not seen yet, right? I will show you. Zip also I will show you, right? And reversed we have not tried, right? So these two things I will show you, but enumerate we have seen, right? Enumerate, map, filter. So basically iterator implemented for loop, comprehensions and generators. Generator we will see in upcoming sessions. But understand this, iterator basically just like your list, tuple, dictionary, and they will iterate, right? How they will iterate and what advantage they have compared to these existing iterators, that we need to understand. And in what case we will use iterator. These 2-3 things we need to understand, and then this topic will over, right? So what happens whenever you create any list or anything, you try to pass this to this iter object, or you can say iter class, then it will create an iterator. This iterator will have a function named next. So instead of running this in for loop, you will say, okay, suppose this is t equals to, you can say t dot next, t dot next, t dot next, t dot next. Every time it will return you the next item, right? Why we are doing this? Because if you store whole list into memory, then it will consume more memory. But if you store iterator, it will not consume more memory, because it don't store the list. Every time it call it will try to get the next item. Every time it will try to get the next item by using next function, right? It won't store the whole list. That is the advantage, because if you have list with 2 lakh items, or maybe now 2 lakh means, this is Indian terminology, 2 lakh means, okay, so 2 lakh means about 0.2 million, right? 0.2 million, or change this example, take 20 lakh and you can say 2 million items in list, then list will become very slow, right? In that particular case you need iterators. So whenever you have large data size, you try to use iterator around that, right? If you want to speed up some file processing, file reading, suppose file size is very huge, then you will read that line by line using iterator, and it will increase your performance, right? I will show you how we can do this, but yeah, right now this is the example. So if you want to create an iterator the way I have shown you here, you can also write code, right? Sample, create iterator, and then every time you will call the next, it will give you item like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. The same we are trying to implement. Okay, I will answer all the queries, don't worry, just be there, right? Now the question is, again, we understood that these are having more memory, these are consuming more memory compared to iterator. That is why we are using. There are other examples also. There are other advantages also, right? First is memory efficiency. If you have large database or dataset or log files or big databases, what you will do is, instead of reading the whole file or whole table, you will read them one by one, record by record. So don't need to load all data. No need to. You can only read it one by one, right? That is what the memory efficiency here is. Okay, that is why your iterator is better than list, tuple dictionary. Lazy evolution, right? So it generated only when needed. Whenever you need, you just call the next method, right? Otherwise you don't need to call. So it is lazy. It is not that it won't provide you entire data. It will provide you data when you need it. It means on demand. You can write here on demand, right? Now data streaming, you have seen real-time stock market data. All will follow this approach, right? Whenever you get real-time data, it's just like it is clicking on next button, right? For example, sensor data. Nowadays Python is so much used in IoT space. If you are from IoT branch or electronics branch, then IoT field is using Python, and when you get this sensor data or live feed data, then you can use this. For example, suppose you have an app which is updating a score of a live match, right? For example, on Sunday we have Champions Trophy match, right? Suppose you are using app Crick Buzz, right? On this app, when you need real time, you need score updates. In that case also you can use iterator. Every time you will call next, it will give you the next score, right, via certain API. So you can also use in real time streaming, you can also use this. It means iterator, right? For example, you want to generate Fibonacci series, then it is also a real time thing. When you need the next value, you can use this. So ultimately we will use this when we have large data set, but if the data set is small, using list is a simpler way, right? Remember this. Using list is a simpler way if the data set is small. Otherwise, in all cases, you can use this, right? It also has some cons. Listen, if something has pros, it also has cons. Cons means you can only use it once. If you iterate whole list, here, at the end of this iterator will end. You won't get any other item after that. So you can use it only one time. Okay, another thing is you can't do indexing. You won't do random access. In list, suppose this is a list, you can access any item. Suppose you want to access this, but you can't do this in iterator. So whenever you want to access item randomly, you should use list. Otherwise you can use iterator. Cannot determine length because it don't have length function, but list has. So whenever you want these things, or your data is smaller, then you should use list, right? Debugging is also difficult, because it is every time it is generating one item, so you can't do some random access on it. It is very difficult to debug, and after when you iterate whole list, then you don't have this list items, right? Then it is very difficult to debug or track. So this is its cons. Right now we understood how we can create, but this is very simple way. We need to create our own also using class. That I will show you how we can create for real-time streaming. That we will also show you. But right now just compare with list. Why? Because you know list very well. List is a very suitable data type in overall Python, right? So you know in list you can do direct indexing, but here you can't. It stores all elements. It stores only current element, and it can easily call the next item. So generates element easily. So it will save memory. So wherever you want to speed up the things, save memory, use iterator. No direct indexing, can be iterated multiple times, but it will only iterate one time. Uses more memory for large dataset, more memory efficient for large dataset. You can use append, pop. It only uses next, and you can't do append. In list you can append the item. Here you can't append the item, right? Defined using list and this, and here you can define using iter, right? Using iter or a generator. I will show you how iter can be used. This is just a simple way you can use this. And then another way is to use a class. Try to create a class like this, in which you have two methods, iterator and next. So what iterator will do, it will return iterator object itself, right? It is returning a self object, you can see. And next will do the increment. Okay, so sorry, here returns the next value and raise stop iteration error when no more items are there. So the same way we are saying, if item is less than n, then you can increment, otherwise you can raise a stop iteration error, right? Okay, we will write this code. So ultimate objective is to when you want to save memory, do the processing faster, use iterator. You want to do some lazy evaluation, then use it. If you are working with real-time streaming data, then you can use iterator. All right. So let me show you how we can create this, and then we will move ahead with this. So this name of this sheet is iterator, right? And now we look at the coding part and see how we can do this, right? Suppose you have items, right? Items list. Okay. So this has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, sorry, 8, 9, right, and 10. Okay, sorry, I placed by mistake 20. Now you have these items, right? It will take a minute. Meanwhile, I will show you this, how you can create your iter, right? Items, it will create your iter object. For example, item underscore itr, right? Now if you do items iter dot next, okay, not like this, I think this, like you need to do like this, not right. You can see right now it is giving you the first item. Then if you do re again, it will give you item 2. Then you will try again, it will give you item 3, right? At the end it will end. So okay, let's try to run this multiple times, right? Let's 3, 4, okay, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Stop iteration error, right? Because it don't have any item after this. So you can't do indexing on it. Let me show you indexing also. itr items.itr 0th index, for example, 0. List iterator object is not subscriptable, right? So you can't do it. You can't do indexing here, right? And yeah, so, and you don't have the whole list. Every time it will pick the one item, right? So this is your basic iter, right? Not code, I need text here. Okay, now let's try to create your own iter, right? It is very simple, right? You just need to use iter and text method, that's it. Okay, Now let's try with some real life example, right? Forget about this one. Let's try to do this example, right? Use case, right? There are few use cases, right? As I told you, when your large data set, real-time streaming data, or maybe you are processing database records. In these 2-3 cases where the data is size more, you can use this for faster execution, right? So let's try this. I will try to implement this code. What I'm trying to do is I am trying to do real-time streaming, right? So let me show you how we can do this. Okay, so what I want to do is suppose we were calling any API. Okay, stock, the name of this is stock price streaming, right? Okay, so let me add text here, right? Now let's try to create. For this we have to create a class. So suppose I am giving the same name to the class, right? Stock price stream, right? Stock price stream. Okay. Now what we can do is, in this first we have to create our constructor in it, right? Okay. So you can see it. You can write like this also. So self. So what we have in a stock price, we will have stock, right? We will have stocks. Okay. We will also taking one updates, right? You can say maximum update of stock price. We want this update this maximum 10 times, right? Now self dot stocks equals to stocks. Okay, and max update, if you want we can define self dot max updates equals to max updates, right? Right now by default we are keeping this 10, and you also need one more variable which is self dot count equals to 0. So every time we increase this count, and when this count is equals to max update, after that it won't generate the data, right? So how many times you want to generate the stock price, just like how many times you want to run the next. So it has 10 items, it executed 10 times. Here how many times you want to update. Right now we are keeping this default 10. If you want, you can also pass the required value. So the condition of creating an iterator is you should have a iter method which returns the iterator object itself, right? So this is your iterator, right? We are not doing any inheritance here, right? So you can see it, here it is returning this iter function, it returning the self. So the same way we can write here def underscore underscore iter underscore underscore self, right? And then you can return self. That's it, right? Now second thing, it should have a next method that return the next value and raises the stock iteration, right? So how it will raise it is, so def underscore underscore next, right? Underscore underscore self, right? So two methods we need, and this is your constructor. Only these three things are enough. Now first way to check if your self dot count is less than equals to self dot max update. If it is less than, then okay, else you will raise the error, raise stop iteration. You can see here stop iteration, right? Now what we can pass here is returns the next value. How we can get the next value here? So every time we will call the API and get the updated stock price. Suppose you are creating app of Jaruda and you want to update the stock price every time or every second, or yeah, generally it is every second, right? So every second or every millisecond, if you want to update that, or you want to update the stock price, or you want to update cricket score, football score, right, real time data, then you need to update that data, or you need to return that data on each next. So we don't have API to call here. I don't have API to call here. So the simple thing that we can do is I will try to generate it randomly, right? For example, we have a stock list, right? We have a stock list. What we can do is we will select a random stock, right? How? For this we need to implement random here. Import random. We know import random, right? Random we have seen in previous lecture. Random dot choice, right? We have seen choices, right? Choice, only one choice I want. Self dot stocks. From this stock list, choose one stock and get its data. So right now we don't have data, right? So what we will do is for that data is stock we got. Stock we got, what we can do is we will get the price. Now we need stock price. So this price we will get from API, but right now we don't have API, so we are generating this randomly, right? Uniform. I am generating price between 100 to 500 rupees, right? If you want, you can round off this also. I think we have round function. Let me try. Yeah, we have round function. We will round this price to 2 decimal point, right? We also need time. At what time we got this price? Time stamp equals to time dot, right, str. Okay, we need to import the time module. We have not discussed yet, right? Not time module, but time is a module where you can get you can do detail related time. str time, str time, right? str time, str or strf time, strf time, right? strf time, right? Okay, strf time, what it will does is it will give you a time in a specific format, and I'm defining that format like y means year dash percent small f and month, percent d it means date, then space percent h, right, colon percent m colon percent s, right? I think this is a string. Yeah, we are right, this is a string. It will give you the current time in this format, and what you will do is you can write print f string, right? You can write stock, right? Stock price. You can write sorry, first you will write that time stamp, then you can write a colon. After this colon you can write stock, and then you can, after this you can put a dash and you can add here price, right? Or here if you want, you can, instead of this you can put this type symbol. It will print this. So every time you will call next, it will generate some random value. In real life you can generate some, you can call API instead of these two lines, but I don't have any API, so I'm doing this. Okay, and at the end you can also return here, return what you can return is, you can return all these. Yeah, instead of print I think you should use return, because this is next function, so we are not iterating, we are just returning it, right? We are not printing it. Okay, I'm just commenting this. Now what we can do is, suppose I have few stocks, right? The stocks, for example, okay, we can take Indian market, right? Asian paints, right? Okay, and what else we can take? We can take A Asian, and B Bharti Airtel, right? Then we can take Nestle, right? And then we can, yeah, 4 5 we can take any, and we can take SBI, yeah, very simple, SBI, Axis Bank, ICICI Bank, right? Suppose we have these 4 5, all right, and we want to extract their stock price via API. All right, now we need to create the iterator. Iterator we create generally using class name. So class name is stock price streaming, right? So stock price streaming, I need to pass the stocks. So stocks are here that I will pass. Okay, and I will get a iterator here. So I am writing its name, sorry, stock ITR, right? Iterator. This should be a good name. Let's run this, see what is happening. Stock price. Okay, first I need to run this and I need to run this. Good, no error, right? Okay, now I need to iterate this. How I iterate this? I can iterate this also in for loop, or I can iterate like this, right? Stock ITR. Let's see what is happening. So we got this, you can see some random price we got at this time. Okay, now right now you can see 519, right? So this is giving you GMT time. We are 30 hours 30 hours ahead of GMT time, right? Right now if you see that time is 10:50, right? But if you see in UK it will be 5:20, approx 5:20, right? So that is why we are getting GMT time. We can adjust this, no issues, but right now we are not focusing on that. We are focusing on iterator. You can see every time we are generating some other, for randomly it is choosing this, or you can also iterate this in for loop. For stock in stock iterator, stock ITR. So you can run this. Yeah, we are not updating count. Yeah, we forgot to update count. So what we can do is here, after this we can do self dot count plus equals to 1, right? Now it will update this. Now what we will do is, if we will run this, it will generate 1 2 3 and 1 2 3, then 4 5 6 7 8 9 10 11. Why 11? Because it will check at 11th time. Okay, sorry, it's starting from 0. Now it will work. 10 1 2 3. Now it should execute 6 times. Yeah, 3 4 5 6 7 8 9 10. Yeah, 10. Or what you can do is, you can also, yeah, generally it is for loop, infinite loop. Generally it is infinite loop, right? So what you can do is, one more thing you can do is, time dot sleep. I am sleeping this for 1 second. After every 1 second, sorry, actually it is executed. Now it will execute 1 2. After every 1 second it will update the data. every 1 second, 5 second. It depends on the application, right? So that's how you can create a iterator. This is real-time stock streaming. Similarly, maybe you are extracting the stock price, not stock price, cricket match score, some other live thing, right? Or you can also do this for large data sets or any file which is very huge file, and every time you will read record one by one. Similarly, you have huge data set, you want to read data one by one. And also this help in another application, which is pagination, right? Pagination is a concept of, I think, pagination, right? So